Fitness and nutrition go very much hand in hand. So to make your health work for you, it's all about getting the balance right. The things you eat and diet you follow can have a big impact on the way you feel and perform. That's where our resident nutritional therapist, Claudia Norris, comes in. Claudia, thanks for joining us. You're a nutritional therapist at the Wellness Clinic, but tell us, what does your work actually focus on exactly?
Well, I work with individuals on a wide range of health concerns. I do a lot of group work as well, so I run detox groups and weight loss groups. And then when I'm not here in Gibraltar, I fly back to the UK and I lecture at the British College of Nutrition.
So certainly interesting. They're covering a wide range of topics within the heading of nutrition. And that's what we'd like to focus on today. Obviously, our programme, HealthWorks, is mainly about fitness. But how important is it to have that balanced, healthy diet to go with it?
It's absolutely crucial, especially for achieving fitness goals. For example, a lot of people get into fitness because they want to lose some weight or they want to build lean muscle. And both of those, for example, you have to have the right diet to go with it to achieve those goals.
Okay, so when we talk about a healthy diet, nutrition, what boxes should we be ticking here?
Well, I mean, there's such a wealth of information out there, isn't there? And people can become confused by all these scary headline messages. But really, the message is moderation in all things. Plenty of fruit and vegetables. We now know 5 a day isn't enough. It has to be 7. And here in Gibraltar, the average is about 3. So we need to work on increasing that. Eating fewer processed foods, really. You know, looking at cooking from scratch, or just getting natural whole grain foods into our diets. And variety is so important. The average person has about 7 meals they eat in rotation. So it's about getting as much variety as possible into our diet. So it's about eating the best quality that you can afford. And if you can try and buy the organic chicken or the grass-fed beef, or try. I know it's hard to source these foods sometimes, but it's worth making the effort.
And I imagine it's not one diet suits all.
Absolutely not. It's obviously, I mean, I work with clients based on their preferences and their ethics, but it's also looking about what's right for that individual. What are their symptoms? Where are their deficiencies? Becoming vegetarian or vegan, it just simply isn't appropriate for some people given their health concerns.
And with regards to striking that balance between the carbohydrates, the proteins, the vegetables, the grains, protein is such a word that we hear being thrown about so much. How should we, be tackling this?
It's a very interesting subject, and I work a lot with this, and like for example with people who are wanting to lose weight, we might drop carbohydrates in the evening meal. It does work. However, the message of protein can be very acidic for the bodies, especially if you're relying too heavily on animal protein. So it's about incorporating more lentils, more chickpeas, more beans. It's about balance in all things, really.
We also hear people that may say, no, I'm on a healthy plan. It's actually a low-fat plan, but it might be high in sugar. That's
right, and that's where the government messages, across the world have got it so wrong since the 1970s. The manufacturers, the food producers were told to cut out fat because fat contributes to heart disease. We now know since then, obviously heart disease has escalated, obesity is at all-time epidemic highs, and what they did was they took the fat out of the foods. It didn't taste very nice, so they substituted it with sugar. And I know we're going to be talking about sugar in another programme, but it's a really big problem, and we should be focusing on sugar rather than fat as the enemy.
A varying routine and workout is what keeps many involved in exercise motivated. Strength training seems to be on the increase, with body pump proving popular on the rock. Under the heading Great Bodies Aren't Born, They Are Transformed, the Les Mills programme, delivered locally by Nolly Knights, offers fun resistance training with the use of weights.
I started in dance, and from dance I moved on to martial arts as a child. And I stopped that for a while, went off to study, got a career in law and stuff, and then quite a few years ago, about 4 years ago, started to put on quite a bit of weight, so I thought I'd go back into the gym. And the first program that I came across was Body Combat. That's produced by Les Mills, who produce a lot of different activities, and combat was just one of them. Went into the class, enjoyed it immensely. After the class, the instructor actually came up to me and said, "Do you actually teach?" Because he thought I was technically quite good. And that sort of like planted the seed in my head. Continued with the classes, then I started to enjoy the classes so much that I assisted him in his classes. And then from there on, I just moved on with the Les Mills program. So now I'm advanced instructor in body combat. Body pump is another activity we do here.
It's a popular class. Where do you think, its attraction lies?
I think the main attraction with Les Mills is its group programs. That's the first and foremost thing. So it's not a one-on-one class. So I'm not a personal trainer that I just deal with one person. It's a class it's a social thing. So people make friends, they inspire each other, they motivate each other. And I think that's the spur that gives it, it gives it a bit of, not so much individuality. You get to socialise and obviously you're doing the workout. So.
Would you say it's also about variety? Because every 3 months you change routines, music and all of that?
That's right. Every 3 months there's a new choreography that comes out. When we say choreography, everyone gets scared. It's not really a choreography. There's set movements to set music. Now you're going to be doing that worldwide. Any instructor doing this program, doing Les Mills, will be doing the same choreography worldwide. So you could go to a gym today and another gym tomorrow, and you should be doing the same program. Body pump is weights based, so it's high reps but low weight initially, although some of the girls are now using quite a lot of weight. We concentrate on each body part, so we start with the warm up and then we work onto legs, chest, triceps, so we break down each body part and that helps to sink in that strength training and that toning. Also you get a cardio workout from it. And the good thing about this class is that you're burning calories straight after the class as well as during the class.
Would you say it's quite an intense workout?
It is very intense, because they're very high reps. You can quite easily do in one class 800 reps, which is something that you probably wouldn't do in the gym.
To tell you the truth, I started in September and I haven't looked back. It's one of my favourite forms of exercise. What I specifically like about it is that you can go at your own pace. You start with very light weights, and as soon as you feel that you can stretch yourself and push yourself a little bit harder, and that's what you do. So everybody goes at their own pace, and likewise you have youngsters and slightly older people than me, like me. So yes, I very much enjoy this class and I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Right, I've been with Les Mills for the past year, as this has motivated myself to actually increase and give me a boost to extra my weight loss, because I've lost about 63 kilos now. For the past 3.5 years I've been doing exercises and dietitian, and this has helped me out quite a lot, as it's a different type of workout. It helps you to burn fat and it converts into muscle, and it's just getting your tone.
I started 2 years ago when I was 55, so 57 now. It's the kind of thing proves that you can do, your body can do a lot more than you think it ever could, I've never found the age thing a barrier whatsoever. In fact, I think I feel better now than I did 20 years ago, seriously.
Well, it's brilliant. Like the class as a whole, we get on very, very well. So it's a bit of like a family atmosphere. So just the people and the general sort of the exercises is something that I normally wouldn't do on my own. So just having the people behind us to support this is basically why I keep coming.
Is it something that's caught on? Because I imagine there's challenges with regards to the space, you're using weights, so finding the right venue.
I've had to add new classes, I've had to find new venues. But yeah, it's caught on. People seem to enjoy it. It's very rare that I get someone come in through the door and not come back. It's very rare indeed.
And the benefits of this type of training?
It's more about toning and strengthening. You also do get a cardiovascular workout, but it's more about the toning and strengthening.
And you mentioned before working all the different, body parts. Are there specific areas, obviously, of concern to women? I imagine most of them are women that attend your classes. So are these perhaps the ones that you really target on?
Yeah, the women tend to be good in the legs area, so squats and lunges, they're brilliant on. I have to work on a bit harder when it comes to chest and triceps. That's where the women in the class, there's obviously some men as well, but the women in the class find it more difficult. So that's why I try and, emphasise that they have to work harder to get that balance.
Fantastic. And let's talk about your other sessions as well. You fill the halls. We've seen you before with body combat. A different class, very fast-moving, fast-paced. Is this part of its attraction and popularity, would you say, worldwide?
Yeah, definitely. It's basically based on interval training, so it's the ups and the downs. We use martial arts and boxing moves to get a workout. So it's an avenue for us to get fit. The attraction, I'm always very puzzled by that because it is kicking and punching in essence, and like 90% of our group are women. So I always find that quite odd.
De-stressing perhaps?
Very much so. De-stressing, definitely. I think I get my de-stress because you'll hear me screaming and shouting at the top of my voice, and then I get everyone else to do the same thing. So yeah, very much so.
And you've been running these classes locally now for a few years now?
Yeah, since 2011.
When you started, did you ever think, you would be at this stage where you'd be juggling different classes, trying to fit in extra workouts due to demand?
I didn't think so. I think I always knew it would be popular because from my own experience, I knew that it would be popular, it would be something that's quite addictive. I know that Gibraltar now has got a real thing for fitness. Over the last few years, they've really latched onto that. So people are looking for something new and exciting. So I didn't think it would get so big, but definitely thought it would be popular, definitely.
And to follow up on what you've just mentioned, obviously the competition, there's plenty out there, but do you think there's a niche for each different exercise class and style?
There's a place for everyone, I think. There's a place for everyone. No activity is better than any other. Body combat has its place, body pump has its place, Zumba had their place, etc. Pilates had their place. No, I think there's more than enough people here, there's more than enough activities for people to latch on, and the good thing is that you get variety. That's the important thing, especially in a place like Gibraltar that's quite small. People have the variety, that's great.
And for yourself as an instructor, is it important to keep on sort of challenging yourself so that you don't get bored?
No, definitely. I just went and completed an advanced course in body combat, which just makes me more empowered in my classes and gives me that motivation to continue and not only better myself but better my students. How do you feel about the workout?
For me, it's my type of workout. I really enjoyed that, but I must say I'm feeling it in certain bits, the triceps, the calves, and I did notice as well, and it's probably down to form because I'm not used to using the bar, but at parts I was jiggling. So what would be your advice?
Always keep your own, especially the triceps, because that's where we're most weakest in this class. Everyone's quite good in the legs, but it's the triceps, the upper body, where I can try and concentrate and focus on you guys to work your way.
Fantastic. I don't usually sweat a lot, so this is proof that's been a good intense workout, and I've really felt the different areas of the body.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Brilliant.